Hey everyone, how are Will? Right, today you're finding me on the former Midland Railway. Now this is the line which went from Clipstone and joined onto the old Mansfield Southwell line down there and went via Rufford Colliery. Now what we're going to do is revisit the Rufford Colliery branch and have a look at the grounds of Rufford Colliery, which closed back in 1993. And we've not really looked at this line in depth before. I briefly looked at it around about June last year on a video which I'll put the link up there, which also covered Clipstone and Bilsthorpe branches. So in order to understand why this shut in 1983, which was 10 years before the pit shut, we need to have a look at this line. Now this line here, that was the former line from Clipstone off towards Blidworth. It's the former Great Central line. So in order to understand the complexities of this area, we need to get up there and take a look before we start walking the Rufford branch. So let's go. So first of all, I need to get myself up here. It's a little bit steep. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. There we go. Right, so still complete with ballast down up here, look. So down there, that's going to take us off to Clipstone Colliery, off to Clipstone Junction, and the former Great Central Clipstone to Mansfield line, which was also the first bridge that we went under before. Okay, we're starting just a little way south of Clipstone Colliery and Clipstone Colliery Junction, just here where I've got the arrow pointing now. And we're going to take the left-hand blue line down towards where Rufford Colliery was. The one on the right, that eventually took you towards Blidworth and Blidworth Colliery, and that line scooting off to the right hand side of the map, out of sight, that is off to Bilsthorpe Colliery. Now the route originally carried on, it went past the A617, it's been severed just there. That's the Reneth bypass. Now the yellow line you can see just in the bottom left hand corner, now that is the former Mansfield to Rolleston Midland Railway line that went through Farnsfield and Reneth as well. Now in this opposite direction here, that's where we're going to go today, and the line just through these bushes, it parts and it goes off to Blidworth and Bilsthorpe, and Rufford Colliery Junction is up there, but we're going to take the spurs to the right and head off towards the former Rufford Colliery. So the Midland line, what we started on, that was like a direct route between Clipstone Colliery and headed off towards Rufford. So what happened in the early 80s, they put a cord in which came off this line and just connected the old Midland line, thus allowing closure of the former Midland line, and this cord opened in 1983. So the bridge I've just ran up is literally just past that stack of old ballast that's been scooped up there. Immediately we're presented with this, a left and a right. So that's going to take us to Blidworth. We did that a few weeks ago. That is the curve, that is the spur that was put in to join onto the previous Midland line. That's where we're going today, and that explains why that line shut 10 years before the colliery did. However, we will be going back onto the Midland line as previously stated, and I'll be following it all the way to Rufford Colliery and see if there's anything remains of that site. So there's the remains of the old drainage channel which should follow the edge of the line all the way along. This is the third one I've come across. I expect we'll find quite a few more as well. Ballast is still down. As we get to this corner up here, that's when we'll then reacquaint ourselves with the former Midland line. Okay, so I've now left that ballast behind, and we've left that cord, and we've got ourselves back onto this lot. And look at that. You wouldn't think it was an old railway. It looks like an old abandoned canal with the cuttings and the side walls. Straight away, look, we've got sleepers dug into the ground. That is brilliant. I wonder how many of these there actually are along here. I've been down here before, but I didn't really look at it in great detail. Another one there, look. Let's keep going down. So we're back on the Midland line, and this will take us straight to the former Rufford Colliery, and we're going to have a little look around when we get there to see if anything else remains. Back with a bit of ballast, look. Sleeper there. There's all wooden sleepers all the way along, look. That's great. Love it. And the cutting walls, they're just getting higher and higher, look. I mean, I've not actually gone that far down, look. And they've literally, they've just doubled. It's amazing. You think of all that work that went into creating this. What a beautiful place it is. Even though, you know, it was a railway, and we'd all like to see it a railway. But the colours and the way, it just looks so inviting and peaceful. These ones here, look, we've still got the holes from where the plates went on. Pretty clear that is, isn't it? Probably the next one, although a lot more rotten. There. You can just make that one out a little bit there, look. Let's see if we can actually find a whole one a bit further down. There we go, look, they're all the way along here. Excellent. Oh, look here. Look at that, what a find that is. That's remarkable. Just think how old that is. Got a little black line down there. Let's have a look at the other side. Wow, a nice little relic of years gone by. That's brilliant. Oh look, no sooner have we left that behind, what we've just been looking at, we've got ourselves a milepost here, look. Still got the water. You can see where the yellow paint's been. And obviously that's peeled off, and the black paint's still there. Look, there's some sort of marking there maybe. Looks like that's the original bracket behind, look, from the original one, which would have been there. That's pretty good, isn't it? Not far up here we go over a bridge, and it goes over, it's like an access road that goes through Sherwood Pines, and it's Eakring Road. And it's very, very high up, and from memory I believe that the fencing's gone on each side, so we're not going to get too close, but we'll have a good hangover. Might even get the drone up and see if we can get it from above. That'll be a nice little angle. Where I'm stood now, look, we've still got ballast and we've still got sleepers, look, and the ballast continues. And the cutting is actually getting lower on both sides as well. It's coming down. Well, it is more on that side anyway. Let's keep digging. We might find something else. Look at this buried down here. It's so easy to miss this kind of thing, isn't it? You see, when I came down here a year ago, I never saw any of this. So I wasn't really paying attention, I suppose. That's good, that's 3 of them now we've seen. We've got this just here, though. I'm not sure what purpose that would have been, whether there must have been something attached to it. I can't see any real evidence of any kind of signage, and it's the only one along here, so it wasn't part of a fence. Maybe it did have some kind of sign on it. Okay, so almost levelling off, look, the cutting's about gone, which means the lay of the land is going to go down, and we're going to approach the Eakring Road Bridge probably in about a quarter of a mile. Right, this is the bridge that goes over Eakring Road. As you've just seen, we're extraordinarily high up. And there's the fence posts. Look, from the fence it used to be here, you can see where the railings were previously there. So they've been taken away. Out of all the things that could have been pinched, had to be them. So over there we're looking towards a quarry. Mansfield would be over there as well. Rufford Colliery, part of that was just to the left. If we swing it over this side, oh, it looks even higher. Some nice blossom just there. Just out of sight around there, there's a short little tunnel, and that goes under part of the old internal Rufford Colliery Runrad shunting sidings. Immediately after that is the Great Central, the former Great Central's Midland Colliery branch. Rufford Colliery Junction is a little bit over there, and the branch that heads off to Billsthorpe is sort of like just over there and scoots off in that direction. So straight after that little bridge, look, this bit's gone. I mean, that's obviously collapsed at some point, and then quad bikes, motorcycles have just took advantage of that so they could get up here. Looking down there, you could just make out the boundary fence, look. Now I'm assuming that was a boundary fence for the colliery rather than the railway, seeing it, you know, it's quite a way down there. I might be wrong, but you know, your part of your colliery was where the trees are over there. About a quarter of a mile down here, we'll come across where we can actually have a look at the pit and where it was and get onto it. We've got to follow a little section down towards what is now the Reneth bypass, but looking at maps from over the top, can't really get much further and cannot get right up to the bypass. Now the Reneth bypass, that severed the old track bed which joined onto the former Mansfield to Southwell Railway. We'll be looking at the Southwell to Mansfield Railway at some point, and we're not going to be able to get much further than past the former colliery site. So just out of sight around there is the Eakring Road Bridge. We're a lot closer to the that boundary fence I was pointing out earlier. Look, it's still got some of the chicken wire fencing on there. No fencing that I can see on that side. I can't hear any heavy machinery. When I came here last year, the old stocking site was a hive of activity with diggers, JCBs and whatnot. I can't hear anything, so that's good for us. Right, so your track bed's going there. We've got to deviate across around that. I'm not going to scramble over that. Might have a little look up here though. Let's have a run up. It's not really a great deal to see. We're quite high up, so I've just come up from there. Track bed's down there behind that. Colliery wasteland. Bit of a quarry over there. Again, that's Mansfield in that direction. Over there, that's where the former colliery was and all the buildings. Track bed continues there, so I'm going to make my way down there. So they've used an old piece of railway line here, look, to like concreted it in, look, and they bent it round to hold back all of this spoil, I suppose. So here's our track bed back down there. So this is the way we now want to be going. So here's our view looking over at the former colliery. Going to go a little bit further down. We're not going to get far at all, but already I can see glimpses of something pretty interesting just over there. Great, let's carry on. So this is the first glimpse of a ballast that we've had on this section. There's an old couple of sleepers there. I mean, this bit, since we got on this section, has just been green and overgrown, which makes me wonder if this was out of use a long time before the stocking site finished there, and it must have joined on maybe further down there onto the line, and this has been out of use since, well, way before the pit closed in '93. We've gone green and lush again, look, it's completely different to what we've seen for the first 3/4 of this little railway walk today. There's another one of those concrete posts there like we saw on its own. There's no others along this section, it's just that one, so it has to be some sort of signpost or marker post. Coming up to the end of the line, a little bit further, where that clearing is in the distance. Right, this is as far as we're going to get with this line. So we've just come from down there, and the track bed went up there, and past that pile of sand, if you can make it out, the track bed continued, and Rufford bypass is down there. There's no further way down there, so that's the end of that line. So I've got ourselves onto the former colliery site, which was later used as a stocking site till I believe 2003. And look at this. This is brilliant. We've still got lines down, we've still got the rails in place, look. How amazing is that? Turning it around, it only goes as far as here. Clearly was some sort of structure here at some point as well, look. So all the way at the rapid loader location, the lines are severed right there, but we can jump over here, look, and there's another one. Now that is going as far as here, and then it's concreted over. So what I think this area may have been, this line was kept in use till the end, potentially, I could be wrong, and it was used for loading the coal onto the stocking site, potentially, and the rails did go further down and they've since been lifted. This has been concreted over since and was used as a pad for the diggers which loaded into the coal wagons. If we nip over here, so you can see there's another line there, look, another line there. That's since been buried under this pad of concrete. And then we get here, there's another line, look, and another one. There's loads of them. But this alignment has clearly changed at some point before it was turned into the stocking site for those 10 years. Because this line here has been severed, look, and this had a curve put into the concrete which was laid for that pad. There's no trace of any points here. Or was that just a dead end just there? It seems unlikely to have such a short stub of track just like that. We can follow this down, and I can see a set of points. Let's get you there. Sorry if the wind's causing a few problems. So look, we've got ourselves a nice set of points buried in the dirt and the concrete. Still got the check rails there. Now that's been severed just there, look, so that was clearly set in place and concreted in. So that was out of use a long time before this bit was taken out of use, so potentially used as a run round maybe. Doesn't really go much further. There's a few bits of machinery down there, so I'm not really going to go much closer. I know I've been rambling on a bit. Got one more line here, look, and that takes its way all the way up there. So that's a good number of sidings and rail remains that we've found here. I'm really pleased with that. I didn't think we'd see anything to this extent at all. I'm really happy with that. So I'm back here, look, I'm on the first line, so this is where we come from again. This goes a little way down here, and then it's going to be severed. And now this line itself is now on its own, so we've got to assume that this was the main loading pad, and one of the lines after that was then used as a run round or further storage. And we get to this point where the machinery is. I imagine the rails have been lifted or they're buried over there. So coming across to the other side, we've got that severed rail stuck in there. Look, it was clearly a set of points at one time, separating off to do its own thing, and that's just remarkable. We've got some foundations here, look. This even looks like a width of an old, it's a drain, isn't it? I thought we'd got some like narrow gauge, like old track bed there, but no, it's some sort of drain or foundations. Some other kind of building foundations. Look at the slope angle on that. More potential stocking loading locations over there, maybe for lorries, the way it goes up like that, and some more old colliery foundations here. So we've just been over there, that's where we've come from. Look what we've found here. Internal narrow gauge lines. Two of them side by side. Making the way over towards that area down there, look. Isn't that brilliant? Right next to that, look, we've got another standard gauge line. That seems to curve that way and then go under that concrete padding just there. So that's gone over there somewhere originally when it's connected onto the former lines. And that goes in this direction, and then we lose it just here. Right next to that, we've got another internal narrow gauge line. Seems to be quite a few of these scattered around. We're going to follow this one down a little bit and see where it takes us at this end. Right, we've got some sort of concrete base, so there's one line there, one line there, one line there, and one line over there, and it seems to be some sort of area where stuff was maybe under a shed. It's actually three here, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all going to have their own little set of points a little bit further down here, look. So there's 1, 2, look at that. Let's get my shadow out of the way. Hey, that's fantastic, isn't it? It's the same on the other side, look, so that disappears under all that dirt. Cracking little set of points there which separate off and head off down to the start of that concrete pad. Wow, that's a bit of a hole down there. It's just collapsed, hasn't it? Look at that. That gets a long way down. I think it took the weight of little narrow gauge trains along here as well. Even those lorries. So we're going to say goodbye to Rufford Colliery, what once stood there, and that Midland line we've been walking along from Clipstone. There is a little bit more to show you. I'm heading off over to where the Blythe branch is and was. There was also a little spur that connected Rufford Colliery onto the Blythe branch, the former Great Central line. And that toddled off down there. It was very, very short. We're going to see if we can find the other end of it where it joined onto the Blythe branch, where I think that was stocking site number 2, the Rufford stocking site number 2. So let's get ourselves over there. I think this might have been the former track bed here. And look, there's a drain just there which might be a bit of a giveaway. Looks like it came from here. Not that, that's been turned into a path. But looking down there, there's the old drain and bits of wood that look like sleepers, and it heads on down there, and according to the maps it also heads on down there. Right, I've re-emerged on what was the former Blythe branch line and the stocking site. We came here a few weeks ago, if some of you remember. There's the old track bed. You remember up there was like a little, what looked like a filled in bridge. Yeah, here we go. Also, yeah, you might remember this, and for those of you who haven't seen the Blythe branch video, I'll put it up top again, a link for that, and also probably in the description. I had memories of this being hollowed out underneath, and I believed it was potentially some sort of either a weighbridge or it was a place for the wagons to discharge their coal products into what was below and into the stocking site. So I'm going to attempt to run down here without falling. There we go, that was good, wasn't it? This has clearly been filled in. It's earth that's been, and waste that's been pushed in to stop it from probably collapsing, deteriorating. So this here, I believe, was where the coal was emptied into whatever picked it up, maybe lorries, and then it was dumped and discharged over here to be stocked. So it's nice to get a better picture of what role that actually played. So finishing off, this is roughly where the line would have scooted off towards Rufford Colliery, joining Rufford Colliery onto the Great Central branch on this side. Probably that line of trees there headed off with those line of trees over there. Blythe Colliery and stocking site branch here. That curve over there was the Billsthorpe branch heading off about 3-4 miles in that direction. So that wraps this one up. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fantastic seeing all that stuff on Rufford Colliery site there, and the little bits on the way up the former Midland line towards Rufford. I'm going to walk back along the former Great Central Blythe Billsthorpe branch off towards Clipstone, because that's where I started, down at Clipstone. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. See you soon. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you. Bye bye.